Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what lesbians have found. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Hang Out. I'm Ellie Brigida.
And I'm Lee Holmes Foster, and here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This Week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base each episode about things we've done with the podcast or otherwise. Our Trova trip is coming up in September. Lee, I am dreaming about going to Croatia.
It's gonna be amazing.
Cannot wait. First of all, I need a vacation. Second of all, I need a gaycation. So if you all want to join our gay vacation to Croatia, you can join at bit.ly/LesDoCroatia. We have 4 more spots left. It is going to be queer, amazing, beaches, bike rides, oyster tastings, wine tastings. We're going to see the set of Game of Thrones. I know you probably don't give a shit about that, Lee, but I care. I'm super pumped.
It's going to be great. We also want to remind everyone that we are releasing bonus episodes for our Patreon supporters this season. So if you want to catch all of those, our next one is going to be coming out the same day as our season 6 finale next week, June 26th. That's going to be on Life Partners. Our most recent Patreon episode was on Ammonite. And we have a whole bunch of them that we recorded over this whole season. So if you want to find all of those, you can get them at any level of Patreon supporter. And you can join at bit.ly/lespatreon.
In the greater Les universe, Hayley Kiyoko just released her first novel. It's called Girls Like Girls. It is a fictionalization or expanded version of her song Girls Like Girls, which that music video was life-changing. So I cannot imagine a full-length novel about it. Like, I'm here for it.
We also wanted to shout out former guest of the pod, Jess Tom, who moderated Elliot Page's book launch of Page Boy. So congrats to Elliot Page, obviously. Congrats to Jess for moderating the event. I also loved, I don't know if anyone else saw this, but I saw a post from the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence where they had gifted Elliot this beautiful, what would I call that?
Plaque.
Yeah, like an award plaque,
award,
like a framed thing. And it says, Elliot Page is now Saint Page Boy, transcendent trailblazer of truth and insightful exemplar of authentic identity. And I just thought that was wonderful. So
love it.
Great.
This next point has me really feeling some kind of way because Warrior Nun had to hide their lesbian storyline from Netflix. So there's an article that came out where the creators of Warrior Nun basically were like, Netflix did not want them to make this show gay, and screw you, Netflix, we hate you. And except you gave us the ultimatum queer love, so we sort of like you. But they were like, do not make these characters gay. We don't want to go there. And so in every single script, they would write like, loves her, quote unquote, like a friend. And they would secretly tell the writers' room, no, we're just writing this in the script for the network executives, but don't worry, we're making them gay. And that is cracking me up.
I love that they had like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge writing writing experience where they're like, yes, they love each other like friends. Nudge,
wink,
nudge,
wink,
if
wink.
You know what I mean. Yeah, I love that. Love that for them.
But also so horrible that we have to freaking still sneak lesbian storylines.
No, it's
into
insane.
things.
I mean, it's the whole story's gross and I hate it. I just think it's great that they were just like, fuck you, Netflix, we're doing what we want. So it's great.
And then they did what they wanted and they got canceled. So screw you, Netflix,
great.
again.
Also, I feel like I know I just said it, but I will mention it again just so everyone knows. Next week's episode will be our season 6 finale. As you all know, Ellie and I are going to take a few weeks off like we do every summer to kind of regroup, get a little bit ahead on our recording sessions for next season. Very important, especially now that we're doing an extra recording session every month for the Patreon episodes.
Very important.
We will be dropping some wonderful episodes of some other great queer podcasts that we want to help highlight for you, and that maybe you have heard of them, maybe you haven't, but you should know that they're out there, so keep an eye out for that. But we do have 1 week left of your regularly scheduled programming, so our season 6 finale, can you believe we've made it, Ellie?
Looks like we made it. Look how far
wild.
we've come, my baby.
That's what's
Yes, we made it.
happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee, and welcome to our 108th installment of Should Have Been Gay.
Oh, it was fun, it was great, but it should have been a little more gay.
And in this week's episode, when Cameron was in Egypt's land, let my Cameron go.
So beautiful.
Listen, it's not the top choice song most people would have gone with from this movie, but you know how sometimes you just have those random things that you like quote all the time for no reason
You
out
quote
of context?
that
I
specifically?
quote that all the time.
Do
Kelsey
you-
hates it.
Do you have anyone named Cameron in your life?
No.
Cool.
I just like that one line of this movie. I don't know why it's stuck with me, okay? It's just, it
That's
is what
it.
it is. In other news, we are very excited to be joined by a special guest for today's episode. We have Emma Jayne, who is a Brooklyn-based singer, songwriter, and teaching artist for the Future Perfect Project, a nonprofit dedicated to amplifying the voices of queer youth. Emma, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. And I also love that little Cameron ditty. It's so good. Can't beat it.
It's just a great one, right?
Yeah, it's Jewish coded, Prince of Egypt coded. I love it. As a Jew, I love it.
I don't know why
It
it
just
makes
speaks
me
to you.
laugh. It just makes me laugh so much every time, and it's stupid, and I love it.
I mean, this entire film is like definitely like Matthew Broderick is a Broadway baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like skip, yeah, like so much, like dancing in his own pride parade. Really,
I know. Seriously, in his own pride parade in the middle of the streets of Chicago, which dancing in a parade, pride coded.
yes, gay coded for sure. But we will dive into that. Let's start with our IMDb synopsis. Are you ready, Lee?
I am so ready. Our IMDb synopsis for Ferris Bueller's Day Off, 1986 classic hit film, is as follows. A high school wise guy is determined to have a day off from school despite what the principal thinks of that.
Cool IMDb synopsis.
And pretty tepid,
I don't know.
response.
I don't know if I could have put it better, but I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know if I could have done a better job, but someone should have done a better job with that.
Anyone, please, anyone. Well, I just don't like that it ends with the word that.
Yeah, words
Syntactically,
words
Yes.
to wise don't end a sentence that way.
don't do it. And
that.
also, like,
don't do
what
that.
What does the principal think of that?
Yeah, we never know. Well, you find
We'll
out when
never
you
know.
watch the movie.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. So, do you think we can make it better and gayer?
Oh, I'm sure we can. Emma, do you have a gay synopsis for Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Sure do. A transmasc popular kid and his polycule enjoy a day away from a capitalistic institution. His sister, who is a soft butch egg, is jealous because there is a lot of gender envy between her and her trans brother because he's kind of the realized version of what she wants to be. And it's really an exploration of gender dynamics, queerness, and capitalist institutions.
Wow. Wow. I love
That
it.
has changed the entire film for me.
I have a lot to say about this film. First of all, it's
I
my
love it.
favorite movie of all time. And I loved it so much as a kid. Was in love with Matthew Broderick and was in love with Ferris. And then I grew up and kind of realized, like, actually, maybe I just wanted to be like a cool boyfriend. But
You
I
wanted
still
to be that little gay boy.
I wanted to be that little gay boy.
Didn't we all? Didn't we all?
We all did. So, but I still have room in my heart for him. He's the blueprint. He's the gender envy. He's everything to me. And so is Sloane, and so is Cameron. Like those are my people. They're a polycule.
Love it. I see them as a polycule for sure.
Right?
This is literally, that was my gay synopsis as well. Mine is a queer poly triad deepen their relationship and come to a better understanding of their connection to each other on one magical day in this high camp classic.
Incredible.
Beautiful. I'm just going to read my notes because I wrote like only a few, but here they are. Sloane is a gay ass bitch. Cameron and Ferris are hot for each other. The principal quotes, "Your ass is mine."
Nice.
That's it.
Nice. That's okay.
That's it.
I like how your gay synopsis took like a haiku approach to this assignment.
That's
Absolutely.
it.
That scene where the principal Rooney says your ass is mine. He mistakes a like short-haired
Butch
guy.
lesbian.
Yeah, in the arcade pizza shop for Ferris. I mean, that's telling. And that was like,
So gay.
I filmed that moment. I filmed it. When I was watching today, I just like filmed a bunch of times. There's also this amazing nurse who's coming to deliver a singing telegram to Ferris because everyone's convinced. That's mother.
Mhm.
Yes.
Like the cast of Rocky Horror shows up to your front door.
Yeah, pretty
This
much.
movie, I'm not lying, like high camp, man. This is extremely just off the charts. It's great. I mean, as I say that, Ellie,
Yes.
because Emma, you just told us a little bit about your experience with the movie. So we usually like to share a little bit where are we at? What's our backstory? Ellie, what's your experience with Ferris Bueller?
See, I feel bad about this because I know it's your favorite movie, Emma, and I honestly rarely say this about most of the movies that we watch. I just watched it again and I just don't get it.
That's okay.
But I'm sorry, but maybe it's just because like I didn't watch it in my formative years.
I'm also from
Like, you know what I
Chicago.
mean?
I'm from Chicago, so it was like cool to see like my
All of
backyard in a
your-
movie,
yeah.
I guess.
When did you first watch this, Ellie?
I feel like I first watched it like when I was like mid-20s even. Like, and only because someone told me I should watch it. And I feel like it's such a like high school film
Totally.
that like you have to be first a high schooler watching it to be like really connected to it. So I think I'm just too old. I'm like, yeah, I feel for the principal. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's really telling.
Not actually. But,
That's really telling.
But you know what I mean? When you watch a high school movie and you're like, I relate more to the parents than the high schoolers. And you're like, this is how I turned a corner in my life.
Totally. It's just my comfort movie too. Like, I'm not sure it's the best movie ever made, but it's my favorite one and it's comforting to me.
Well,
So.
and I can understand why it would bring joy to people. Like, it is very silly.
Okay,
it is fun.
There we go. Yeah.
I can totally understand it.
There we go.
I just, maybe it's because like I watched it after the hype, all the hype had happened about it, that I was like, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I wasn't like, this is that's the best movie I've ever
Couldn't live
seen.
up. Couldn't live up
Do you know
to
what I
its
mean?
own
It didn't live up
standards.
to the own expectations. For
Listen,
me personally.
I just need you to know, Emma, that I'm usually the giant
Lee
like
always
Debbie
says
Downer
that. Lee always says-
on the,
and I'm like, yay, sunshine and rainbows.
I'm always the person who's like, I just don't know if it was for me. So I'm just deeply enjoying this moment is all.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I did watch this in high school and I'm like, I mean, it doesn't even matter. It's Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Right. It's just like, that's that movie. She's that girl.
That's that movie. Yeah. it's just, it is what it is. It's never been like, okay, here's what I was thinking about when I was rewatching this movie, because we just put out a Should Have Been Gay on Grease. I think like 2 Should Have Been Gays ago, we talked about Grease. And one of the things that I love in Grease that I remember when we were talking about it for the episode is talking about how like it's a movie that simultaneously happens over the course of like an entire school year and also 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
Same to me, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I'm like, the length of this day is like insane. Laughable, is just bonkers, is nonsensical. This day lasts 3 weeks, easy, right?
Exactly.
And yet it's perfect. Like, you can't question, you don't question it. It just is what it is. That the point is not reality.
That's
just
far
energy.
from the point. It's energy. And
this movie is straight vibes. That's exactly correct.
And getting from downtown Chicago back to the North Shore of Chicago would have taken the whole day, depending on traffic. So that was a little confusing as well.
Yeah. Well, and similarly, it's like the whole thing with Rooney's car, where I'm like, Rooney's car somehow acquires like 12 parking tickets and gets towed in the span of like an hour. And you're like,
absolutely.
What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Think Rooney, in my gay analysis, Rooney's the only straight character. Like, no matter which way you had canon it, Rooney is straight. And I said, Rooney is a straight principal. He falls in mud. He gets attacked by a dog. He gets kicked in the face by Jayne, and he gets his car towed. Like, this movie is taking a strong stance on cishet patriarchy.
Yes,
if all of those bad things are happening to him.
You're cutting right to like all of my deepest analyses on this movie, and I kind of love it. Because I think Rooney absolutely represents like comp het in this movie to me. Mm-hmm. Chasing down all of our gay protagonists and just getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, when you're chasing down a gay person, you're running away from yourself. Write that down. No, just kidding.
Mic drop.
But yeah, and then also him confusing a butch for a man, that's whether it's internalized or not, that's homophobic behavior.
Yes. It's like homophobic, but it's also like maybe the moment that he realizes he's not quite as straight as he thought.
Yes. Yeah. But he's the straightest of all the characters. In it.
Yeah. He can't get out of it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, like even if he had any sort of gayness in him, he would be the person who like goes to a gay bar and then like pretends he wasn't there.
Yeah, or it's like it was just too noisy. It just wasn't for me. I'm done with gay spaces. I'm like, okay, honey.
I feel like Rooney to me would be the kind who goes to a gay bar and somehow still doesn't realize he's in one. You know, like just literally can't see it.
It's like, wow, it's really colorful in here, and a lot of like men are wearing mesh. That's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
I was also maybe seeing, what's his assistant's name?
Oh, the Grace. Is that Grace?
Yeah. I was also like maybe seeing the two of them being in like a sub-dom kind of scenario together.
Whoa. I could see it. The way he yells at her, the way she kind of gets off on his power. I mean, but she's also like
an interesting dynamic there.
Oh, she would for sure have to be the dom. No, what are you talking about? Like,
no, I think she's the brat. I think she's the bottom brat.
Listen, I just want to have some hard stances on this episode, so I'm gonna respectfully disagree.
Okay, well then I have to come clean, and I do think Rooney's gay. I mean, straight. Oh my God, Freudian slave. I think the principal is straight 100% and a little homophobic. That's my hot take.
And he deserves to get kicked in the face by our submerged. I'm like, what's her name? Baby?
Jayne. Baby, yeah. Ferris Bueller and Baby Bueller. I said Jayne. Jeannie's a lesbian. In the scene with Charlie Sheen, she just likes him because he looks kind of butch if you squint. And when they're talking, she says these two things to him. She says, why don't you put your thumb up your butt? Okay. Queer coded.
A little specific.
And then she says to him, he's like talking to her and she's like, blow yourself. That's interesting. And also their whole talk together is like him psychoanalyzing her. That is lesbian behavior.
Yes.
That's queer behavior of like meeting someone and 3 minutes after you meet, you're getting like a therapy session. You're getting like the DSM-5 is out. Like And then she literally says, like, what are you, a
Tarot cards
psychiatrist?
are being turned over.
Absolutely.
He literally says, like, you should go to therapy. Like, here's a therapist I recommend.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's literally like, go to therapy. And then she says, what are you, a psychiatrist? And anyway, but then they make out, which is like, maybe she's like trans non-binary.
But I do feel like Charlie Sheen gives like super queer vibes in that scene.
100%. 100%.
Like the haircut, the outfit.
He's like a few steps away from being in like a dyke leather bar. Like
Yes.
he's very close, dangerously close.
Yeah, he's like, why are you in? And he's like, drugs, quote unquote. But he's also like, sodomy.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
He's like, I was doing drugs in the gay bar bathroom. Yeah, just...
He is the exclusive dealer for the gay bar in the city.
But then I was like, are these old movies, like, are all the pretty mean girls just giving me gay energy because that's what I want, or because they're genuinely giving off gay energy? Because I just love
it's gay energy.
Is it? Or am I just like, I love a pretty mean girl? And we all love, as a society, love pretty mean girls.
Honestly, probably both.
Okay.
Because I agree. Like, it's like, is it wishful thinking? Because you're like, yes, please.
Right.
When we did a Should Have Been Gay on the movie Mean Girls.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, are you just like, yes, step on me, Regina George?
Right.
Or is she actually super queer? But like, girls gay.
Right. I think so.
Like,
I think she's gay. I think her and Janice Ian's like definitely hooked up.
Yes.
And then there's like a lot of internalized things going on. Her and Jeannie can go to couples therapy together. That would be an amazing couple.
Well, yes. And also, I mean, there's another thing that Charlie Sheen says in that episode, in that scene, which is basically like, stop looking so much at your brother. Like, your problems with your brother are problems with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, that goes back to my theory.
When you said that theory, I was like, that blew everything out of the water for me.
Yeah, it's basically their tension in the movie is to explore the relationship between transmasculine people and dykes. And she shows up for him at the end, which is like butch transmasc solidarity. But it's also like, wait, were you actually just really jealous of him for how free he was because you wish you were a boy? And then I read up on Jennifer Grey, who's the actress who plays Jeannie. There's this weird article about her that's like, all of her early crushes were on gay men. She had obsessions with gay men. She had a crush on Liza Minnelli's ex-husband. And she's just like kind of obsessed with gay men, like their freedom and their sexuality. I'll send this article to you guys because...
Interesting.
Yeah, she says meeting Broadway stars triggered this phenomenon of craving, like gay male Broadway stars. She's attracted to the overt sexuality of gay men. So on and off screen, this girly wants to be a gay man. Or should I say this boily? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's an egg.
Yes.
Honey, that's an egg.
She's aggressively upset. Like, aggressively. And I like the fact that you're rating Ferris as transmasc, because I also feel like in a like more modern day reading of it, it is like also he's like the most popular kid in school also. So there's also this like other layer of his sister being like, so he just gets to be exactly who he is and everyone loves him for it.
Ooh, that part like, too, which is true even without the gay subtext. Like there's something like she doesn't feel free, and so his freedom upsets her. But also, if we're going to peel the gay stuff away, it's like men get away with everything vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it's not even like, just getting away with it. And it's not just the freedom either, because I think there's a big thing in Jeannie's story in this where it's like she spends all day with this constant reminder of like everybody's like, oh, how's your brother? Like, how's Ferris? Like the thing with like the big water tower with the Save Ferris and all this stuff. And it's like there's something so specific about Ferris being seen by all of the people in their community, you know, and like acknowledged and valued, that like really doesn't sit right for her in a way that only someone who feels deeply unseen, you know, like that's what kind of resonates with me about Jeannie's thing is like, it's a weird thing to be that upset that people care about your brother.
Right. It is a little intense. And also she's like, I guess like he got the car or I got the car and he got the computer and she's still bitter, even though she has a big one up on him.
Do we think, are they twins?
I don't think so. I thought she was supposed to be older.
Oh, I think she's
older,
younger.
That makes no sense because.
Oh, is she younger?
Because he's a senior.
He just looks like such a baby in this.
He's so baby. It was like, it's funny because like in high school I was so attracted and obviously it came out, but I can still find a man attractive. Like I'm not blind. And so it's funny watching back and I'm like, oh, you're like kind of too baby.
Yeah.
You're baby. But Cameron, I have a newfound love for. Like Cameron, I'm like, okay, that's bae now.
So you find Cameron more attractive now?
Well, okay. Yeah, I've newfound appreciation for Cameron. Like growing up, I was like, Cameron's obviously like the funny friend. And as a lot of people's funny friend, I'm like, and Cameron's hot. Maybe that's me wanting to be. This is actually a therapy session. Maybe I see myself in Cameron, which leads me to my next point that Cameron is asexual, panromantic.
Okay, hit us.
Basically, there's this quote that Ferris says, Cameron has never been in love. At least nobody's ever been in love with him. If things don't change for him, he's going to marry the first girl he lays, and she's going to treat him like shit because she will have given him what he has built up in his mind as the end-all, be-all of human existence. So, like, sex is this thing he's never had. A relationship's this thing he's never had, but he's built it up in his head. Okay, interesting. And then also there's this weird moment where, like, he pretends to be kind of, like, knocked out and, like, having, like, a mental disturbance, which he kind of is half having, half not. And then they realize he was kind of faking it. And then Sloane is like, Cameron, did you see me change out of my clothes by the jacuzzi? And he's like, yeah, I did. He doesn't say anything, but he just smiles.
Yeah,
he does this weird smile.
He does such a weird smile. And then she goes, that's okay. I'm not embarrassed. So I'm like, okay, clearly there's an understanding that, like, he's not out here sexualizing people.
Yeah.
Because
well, I also read that, though, like, I still think that Cameron's in love with Ferris.
So how did you get from that to being in love with Ferris, seeing Sloane? Like, oh, I've no feelings towards a woman type of thought?
Like, I feel like it was like, he's like, yeah, I saw you naked, but like, I think they try to make us think that he's into Sloane. But like, he also pretends, like, Ferris has to save him, right? And I felt like that moment, he like wanted Ferris to give him mouth to mouth.
Okay,
like, I feel like he was like,
true.
let me be. He's like, I'm gonna try to see how long can I pull this off before Ferris tries to give me mouth to mouth.
When he tumbles into the pool.
Yeah. And
Whoa.
like, I feel like he was like so like, he was like fucking with Ferris in a way that like felt super, and like he'll do anything Ferris asks. Like he's like anything Ferris asks him, he will do.
That's true.
Okay, here's my theory, because I do very much see them as a polytriad, but I feel like, to me, they're a polytriad that had Ferris as like the hinge of the V until the day of this movie happens, and that's when they like close the little triangle.
That's when you feel like Cameron fell
between
in love
Cameron
with
and
Sloane
Sloane.
as well.
I just feel like Cameron and Sloane get a chance to like deepen their relationship a bit on this day, you know, instead of being like at odds with each other.
Ferris, though.
That's interesting.
Like
yes.
they literally were like talking about him. They're like, wow, like he's so like free and wild.
But are
when
they
he's doing
holding
the
hands
parade.
during that? Aren't they holding hands kind of walking near the parade?
They're just very close. I don't remember if they're holding hands or not.
I kind of made that up. The screen's cut off and I was like, in my mind, they're holding hands.
holding hands.
But it works, doesn't it? I think it works. And so that's why that whole moment, to me, when she's like, were you watching me like changing by the jacuzzi, and like his little smile, and like they're both clearly like into it and okay with it, but I think it's a part of their relationship they hadn't explored yet, you know?
I think, that's really interesting. But I think it's compersion. I think they're just both like, we love our shared partner, and God bless you.
Yeah.
And God bless you.
God bless you.
That's how every conversation about non-monogamy should start and end, with a little God bless.
With a little God bless. I agree with Emma that I do feel like they both love Ferris so much.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Like, because that's like, I do feel like they're both Ferris's partner, and then they're like friendly with each other.
And meanwhile, I think Ferris is a relationship anarchist. Not that flirting is cheating, but He's flirting with all the girlies on the parade float. He's flirting with the girlies when he needs to run home.
Yeah, when he turns back around during the mad sprint home.
Yeah, and he's like, Ferris Bueller, nice to meet you.
Playing with fire, Ferris.
That is a flirt. That's a relationship anarchist.
And Sloane is like so, I don't know, I just feel like she also is super non-monogamous. Because he's like, let's get married. And she's like, no.
Right.
She's like, why the hell would I get married? I mean, besides the fact that he says all that shit. But it's like, I also feel like there's something about her that's so...
She's a Virgo.
Like, she's just like, she would also be flirting with whoever she wants.
Right.
So, like,
she wants that freedom.
This is a fully open little polycule. They're just, it's very healthy. I feel like it's very healthy, honestly.
I think
it's
it's
relationship goals for like the Gen Z
the fact
world
that Ferris
right now.
Like, doesn't act like a misogynistic asshole when his best friend sees his girlfriend naked.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, cool. You know,
right.
like that also is like so just like everything about it is so like the opposite of what you see in heteronormative scenarios.
Absolutely. I noticed
like,
that too.
There's no like fight between him and Cameron of like, how dare you like be whatever. It's so just like chill.
And I love that. I'm like, check your toxic masculinity at the door. Everyone sees everybody naked. Or is Ferris not upset because Cameron's asexual and really doesn't have eyes for people in that way?
Yeah.
Counterpoint to that is I will just point out the one quote that Ferris says somewhere earlier in the movie where he says, Cameron's so tight, if you stuck a lump of coal up his ass in 2 weeks, you'd have a diamond.
Okay, that...
Just a quick counterpoint. Have to counterpoint it.
Cameron's so tight.
I'm just saying.
You'd have
a
diamond.
He knows he's tight.
I mean, he seems to be pretty sure about it.
From experience.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's interesting.
Just a thought.
Okay, I'm kind of...
Plus, I think there's deep implications of the fact that when they have that whole scene in the pool, right? Like, they sort of gloss over the fact that they have to have changed Cameron's clothes while he was catatonic, right? Like...
Oh, yeah, they both saw him naked.
He's not in the jersey anymore.
You're so right. Well, he was wearing... What was he... Was he wearing his suspenders and his, like, little...
He's not in
shirt?
suspenders. He's in like a t-shirt and like little white boxer brief things, right?
Okay, well, let's look up Cameron at the pool scene because I'm fully convinced that something sexual is happening with all three. Cameron falls in pool. I'm looking it up.
That pool scene was highly, like, I just feel like the tension between when Ferris is, like, thinking that Cameron is dead. Obviously, that's, like, my best friend's dead, and that's upsetting. But it felt like my love, like, my lover, like, do not leave me.
My love
can't leave me.
Okay, this picture's crazy. If you are listening to this, obviously you won't be able to see it, but I will describe it. I need to send it to you both.
Yeah.
Paint us a word picture.
This is a crazy photograph of basically Sloane's half naked in this like slip.
Sloane's in like a little like nightie almost. I'm like, where did you get these clothes? She's not in a bathing suit, right?
No, Sloane's in a nightie. Ferris is like naked. And then they're like kind of all also to the polycule theory. There's this part where the first time they like pull over on Lakeshore Drive, the freeway, and check that he's okay after he sees like that they've racked up a bunch of miles in the car. She's like really lovingly stroking his head and his hair. And I'm like, that is intimate behavior. In high school, like you're not really touching your guy friends. At least for me, I wasn't. It was kind of a don't touch sitch unless it was your...
I feel like that's also telling of
okay,
your
well,
own sexuality.
Well, and there you have it. But
no, I agree.
You're very
it's not
touchy.
Like I feel like high schoolers have very strict like gender boundaries.
Yes,
it's like this is my boyfriend and I can touch him, but like otherwise,
right?
You're not
right.
I think you're, but also that's the whole point of this triad is like they don't act like what you expect from high schoolers.
I know. Well, they go. I was like, if I had the day off in Chicago, what would I do? I don't know if I'd go to the museum. That's just me. I know that. I know I'm not. Maybe I don't sound very cultured for saying that, but I think with my day off from school in high school, I would not want to go to the museum, and I would not have the money to pay for that fancy dinner or that fancy lunch they go to. I would probably go to the lake, smoke weed. That was fun for me at the time. And get a few bags of hot Cheetos, call it a day. You know what I mean? Like they really
Keep it
live it
simple.
up. And like, it's almost like they're 40 years old, the activities they're choosing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The like fancy restaurant.
The baseball game, how did they go to Wrigley Field and back and lunch? Like there's no time for this impossible day. And so while they're
This day exists outside of the space-time continuum, okay?
kind of like each of their genders and relationship structures.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
So maybe that's a commentary on that. Like it's like we're leaving school, the oppressive structure behind to have this like idyllic day. We're also rejecting traditional relationship, like the confines of a traditional relationship. And we're also rejecting that time is linear, because I'm going to go to a baseball game, have a 2-hour, 5-course meal at a French restaurant, run into my dad twice, and
Do a whole museum.
And also do
And
a whole
a parade. Yeah.
And it won't affect my traffic getting back to the North Shore of Chicago. No
not
problem.
at all. Not a bit.
And that's because
Why would it?
the gays are in touch with the universe. we're highly favored.
Well, listen, you know what I think it is? I think the space-time continuum is just one, as you said, one of many things that this movie just rejects the premise of entirely, right?
Yep.
Like all of the things that you would think, and not so many, especially 80s movies, right? Like 80s movies were some of the worst offenders. When we go back and do a lot of shipping gays on like the 80s hits, like... Man, the comp het is so rough, and the like relationship dynamics and the way that they portray like flirting and stuff like that. They're bad. They're bad. This movie rejects all of that. It just takes all of that and like just brushes it to the side like so smoothly you barely even notice that it's happening to you, right?
Right.
It's just like, oh, time non-existent, gender who cares? Like comp het, relationship stuff, we don't need it. Jealousy, never heard of her. Like it's just left and right everywhere you look. And I think it starts out so soon, right? Because let's think about this movie. This movie starts out the very get-go, the main premise of this movie is Ferris waking up and saying like, oh, society expects me to do something, not going to do that thing, not going to school today, right? And then what does he proceed to do? He proceeds to have the most elaborate morning, showering, dressing, primping routine of any 18-year-old boy in existence, right?
How old was he
when this filmed? Good question. Let's look it up.
While you're looking that up, I also want to say he changes outfits about 4 times in the beginning. He's like in this like island boy outfit when he's having a little cocktail outside. He's like then in his jazz outfit when he's playing the clarinet or the oboe or whatever it is. And then he's like in the suit. And I think that is gender dysphoria. He can't really decide on an outfit that feels affirming. And so, I mean, what queer person hasn't changed their outfit upwards of 5, 6, 12 times before leaving the house because, the boobs don't go with the outfit or we need more boobs with the outfit. It's just all too relatable.
Well, so he lands for a little bit on the suit that they go pick up Sloane in, but then he like hard pivots from the suit into his like most of the rest of the day outfit, which is like his little cheetah print vest, and I'm just like, of all of the choices to make this,
I know.
This feels like the gayest choice to land on.
It does. And I've looked for that vest. I was Ferris and Cameron for Halloween with my girlfriend. Now I would have demanded to be Ferris, but at the time I got to live we were Ferris and Sloane. Now I would have wanted to be Ferris and Cameron, but then we were Ferris and Sloane. And the one thing I got wrong about Sloane's outfit, I was wearing pearl earrings. She actually wears one pearl earring and one dangly. I mean, that's flagging.
Gay.
That's flagging.
That's flagging.
That's so gay. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
just telling everyone.
Your earrings don't match. Know what else doesn't match? You in this society.
Yes.
Although very beautiful. Like very, I feel like everyone would agree. Beautiful person.
Yeah, like stunningly.
And so
like,
you kind of do have an
happening?
easy time in society. You just like cry a little bit, pretend your grandma dies and get away with stuff. So
yeah,
Sloane does have it kind of easy, But, she's trying to signal to the world, I'm not like other girls. I'm wearing 2 different earrings.
Yeah.
I'm not like other girls. I have different earrings. I also feel like I said, it's just like she's not like other girls in like the way that she interacts with heteronormative society.
Yeah.
She's like so not about, like, she doesn't have to give a like, you don't own me speech, but like she acts it.
Right. And I also love
mean?
that like her attitude with Cameron is not, I'm a guy's girl. It's just like, we're all here hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
You know who does give a "you don't own me" speech, though? That would be Cameron at the end when he gives his whole, like, I have to take a stand. Like, he's basically giving, like, I have to come out to my dad speech about, like, my gay love triangle that I'm in and the little happy polycule that we have formed with each other. And, like, I don't care what he thinks. I have to be strong. And, like, that moment is just, like, it's a queer journey. It's a queer little journey for Cameron.
And then Ferris is like, I'll take the blame for the car. Your dad hates me already. And it's like,
of course he does.
Does dad hate you because he caught you 2 canoodling?
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Okay, there we have it.
His dad has walked in on some shit. Let's put it that way.
Cameron just does feel asexual to me, but maybe not like sex averse. I'm like, you are on the asexual spectrum. Like, I just think
like gray ace, like that's fine.
Yes, I think it is not. I think he has things that are more valuable to him. I think it's not something he thinks about. I think he has responsive desire.
Interesting. I mean, I don't think you're wrong though.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed, just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/letshangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/letshangout.
Let's hang out.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Okay,
Because I do feel like that's why, like, he's in love with Ferris in a very, like, asexual kind of way.
Yeah.
It's very romantic. It's very tender. It's like very deep.
Yeah, it's not platonic, but it's not. Yeah.
Which is why I think
like
he has
that.
the capacity to fall in love with any gender. I don't think he really needs the physical to be satisfied or even thinks about it.
I mean, that's the thing too. When Ferris says that, it's almost like that's what Ferris is assuming that's what Cameron thinks about when he's talking about the sex part.
Yes, but it's not.
Like, it doesn't feel like that's something Cameron would have said to him.
All we know is, well, he also, Cameron's wound up so tight, the diamond thing.
Yeah,
like,
the
there's
diamond,
a lot of assumptions
Mm-hmm.
being made about Cameron from Ferris. And it's like, Ferris, are you trying to mold Cameron into your dream guy? What's going on here?
I do think it is like Ferris being intensely sexual with his asexual partner, and I don't understand. Like, he's putting all of his shit onto Cameron when, like, that's not really how Cameron is.
Wait, and also I'm realizing their fight when they're calling Rooney to pretend to be Sloane's parents, they get in this like huge fight. Like, Cameron really freaks out irrationally at Ferris for just like, I don't know, the way they talk to each other like feels like very like boys in high school being like, you suck, like shut up. And then Cameron's like, I'm gonna go home because you intentionally hurt my feelings. And then Ferris is like, no, I didn't intentionally hurt your feelings. I'm like, okay, we're unpacking. We're unpacking.
It's a very tender scene, I feel like. There's like Ferris is super apologetic, right? And then he calms him down, and then he's like, but you were wrong. And you're like, you guys are like so.
I know.
But they're like
dating
also,
for 4 years.
yes, they're like an old married couple, like, right? When they're
Where he's
bickering like that.
oh, honey, I don't want you to be upset, but like, can you were wrong, right?
Yeah.
Well, and I love, there's my favorite exchange in that whole thing is when he's like, I didn't hit you, I lightly slapped you. And then Cameron's like, you hit me. And they they're so cute. And it's like that, it's the same, that's old married couple fighting right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He doesn't fight with Sloane. Let that be known. There's not really any tension there.
No, there's like
she's
zero
so
conflict.
tender with him.
Yeah.
She's like really gentle with Cameron, and I find it really cute.
Sloane doesn't have conflict with anyone. I meant Ferris. And now that you mention
Ferris.
it,
Yeah.
No, but there's no tension with Cameron either, Sloane and Cameron. So she's definitely the peacemaker of the group.
Oh,
Of
for
the
sure.
triad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I feel like she probably came in later, right? I mean, it feels like Ferris and Cameron
They've
have
known
probably,
each other since 5th grade.
Yeah, like have probably been a thing for a while now, and I feel like Sloane is a more recent addition to the whole
you know
triad.
why? Because Ferris was like, I'm all in on men, and then, started taking tea and was like, okay, I'm exploring my capacity for attraction to other genders. And that's why we need to open this up. Because we all know that can happen.
And doesn't that make a really beautiful story if you imagine, like, because I feel like Cameron would have had probably a little bit of like taken some time to come around to that, you know, like part of their relationship. And that's why I feel like this movie is such a beautiful exploration of what they're learning and how they're all learning to like function together as a unit in this beautiful, campy 12-week-long day. You know?
Yes. And I also love when Cameron and Sloane are talking about college. And she's like, what are you interested in? And he's like, nothing. And she kind of laughs. And I'm worried it's like a judgment moment. But then she says, me neither. I'm also interested in nothing. And that was really beautiful. I feel like that's what the movie's about. And that's why I love it so much, because it is pure vibes. It's pure energy. It's teens simultaneously thinking they know everything and like visiting the stock market and going to the fanciest restaurants and like the hubris of being a teen, and also like being a teen and not knowing shit and being so scared for what's next and not and admitting to the fact like I don't know myself very well. I might have a lot of confidence, but I do not know myself very well yet.
Yeah.
Just like the prioritizing, like I do feel like as an adult watching this, going back to my earlier thing, it is also like a reminder to be like, you could literally just like live your life for a day. Like everything they do is quote unquote nothing.
Yeah.
Right. But like Cameron, I feel like is the embodiment of like, he's like so like uptight. And then throughout the day, he's like, but I actually had a good day today. Like when Ferris goes on the parade and is like, I am in this parade to make sure that my boyfriend Cameron has something,
right?
Has a good day.
Has a good day.
Like that is the pinnacle of like romance.
He's like, I'm gonna lip sync for my life twice.
Oh my god, he literally
The lip sync also is such drag culture.
It's such drag culture. I literally wrote in my notes. I was like, I'm sorry, but Ferris up on this float in his little vest, singing Dankeschön and Twist and Shout. I'm like, he's basically like 2 steps away from a drag show. Like this is. It's so much. But so here's my new thesis statement of this movie, okay? Is Ferris has been sort of stuck as the hinge in this triad for a while of trying to navigate like Cameron's needs and Sloane being like a new part of all of this. And he skips school all against all odds at all personal risk, right? To throw a magical day for his 2 partners.
Whoa.
To get Cameron out, right? Because think about Cameron at the beginning of this movie, right? Like Cameron, let my Cameron go. Cameron is depressed. He's despondent. Yeah. And Ferris is like, I'm going to brighten his day and we're going to bring Sloane and we're going to make a whole magical day of it. And when it's still not enough, he's like, yeah, I'm going to co-opt a whole fucking parade and serenade you and give you and Sloane time to like have some moments, talk, come to some understandings together. Like, you know, you get those really sweet moments like when Cameron and Sloane are holding hands and having that conversation.
Okay, let's call it out what it is.
I think we should do it. Yeah, like and Cameron has that moment where he's like, I'm gonna miss you guys next year, you know? And it's like, it's not just Ferris. He's like including Sloane now. And I think because the thing is, the part that always like kills me when you rewatch this movie is after Cameron gives his whole speech, his whole like, I'm taking a stand against my dad speech at the end, there's this moment where they're all just like making eye contact and like smiling meaningfully at each other, right? In a way that, again, just like doesn't match up with the stupid teenage hijinks of what's happening, right? Like they're all having this like really deep moment at that point, and they're all like just sharing these like really charged like eye contact looks. Yeah. And I feel like that's what's happening is he's like, no, actually, like I do want to tell my dad, and like this is real what the 3 of us have, and like this day proved it to me, you know?
Wow.
And like I'm here for it. That's all. And then you have fucking Rooney who's like, I'm gonna ruin everything, and he shows up to ruin everything, and Jeannie's like, I might hate my like trans brother, but If there's one thing gay people will always team up against, it is straight people. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I might be a TERF, but I love my... That's basically what Jayne's saying.
That's literally what Jayne's saying.
Don't make Jayne a TERF. She doesn't deserve that. No one deserves that.
I take it back. I think the one element I haven't brought up yet, because it's not really queer, is just this is a very neurodivergent movie. I think the day they had is like textbook ADHD, like chasing the dopamine around. It's like, what if we went to the museum? Oh, I'm hungry. What if we went to this restaurant? We can't get in. I'll pretend to be like, it just really reminds me of me. Like chasing the fun at all costs and being so bored in school that you're like, I will do anything to get out of here, to get that hit of dopamine and energy that I crave.
Yes. I mean, it is. It's like ADHD. It's like clinical depression, anxiety.
We have a lot represented.
There's a lot going on in there.
Yeah, especially with Cameron. Sloane's a little like head empty, just vibes. I worry for Cameron. I think Cameron needs to do an intensive outpatient program. I mean, for real.
Yes.
For real.
The catatonic state was definitely worrisome.
He needs a little opposite action. He needs a little bit of like DBT skills. He needs to splash a little cold water on his face. You know, we need a parasympathetic nervous system reset for Cameron, 100%.
For good old Cameron, yeah. But it is very, I mean, the more we talk about this movie, I will say I'm understanding and
we're changing your tune. Yeah.
Because I am thinking about it and I'm like, it is actually such a high school movie that like shifts high school movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything about it is like not necessarily outcast, like in the way that like, you know, like The Breakfast Club is like sort of being like,
right,
we're all different, but like they are so not competent and so not neurotypical.
It exists just like, outside. This is so cool. Yeah, it is outside of all of the expectations and norms of like this era of film, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I'm entertained the entire movie. Like, is there really a plot other than like, I leave school, I hide from principal, I go back home? No. But am I entertained the whole time because of the little bits and bobs that happen along the way? Yes, 100%. There's like mini conflicts that are resolved within the scene. And I'm like, amazing, excellent. The only conflict that kind of like lasts a little while is Cameron going catatonic. The car thing resolved itself faster than Cameron like having this like weird panic attack thing. So, you know, that's the beauty of this movie. The car also,
I wrote in my notes also about Cameron's parents. Because I also feel like we haven't really talked about that. And I'm like, I feel like Cameron's dad is gay. Because, like, he's so, like, all he talks about is, like, my parents hate each other.
Yeah.
My dad loves this car more than he loves my mother. And I just feel like he was, like, forced into a marriage because he's like, I have to be heterosexual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then he takes it out on his gay son.
I love it.
He takes it out on his gay son. He's like, I mean, isn't that kind of the way? It's like giving fun home a little bit of like, there's queer freedom in my child that I'm not allowed to have.
Yes.
And
wow. We have taken that so deep. I kind of love it.
I mean, anybody who has a conflict with another person in this movie, there's an unmet need. For Jayne, it's her own gender. For Cameron's dad, it's his queerness. For the principal, it's maybe very deep internalized homophobia. So there's a lot of unmet needs happening in this movie. If only we would listen and try to meet them.
Okay, I feel like I want to leave it on this like Ring of Keys conclusion.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
here for it.
Of this analysis, because that's just such a it's so good. Plus, it'll leave us some time to do some ships, even though I feel like it's pretty obvious
who we ship,
who we're gonna ship in this movie. But Emma, if you had to say who's your top ship of Ferris Bueller, who are you picking?
My top ship is, I'm a full convert now, Cameron and Ferris. Top ship. But also, can I just say Ferris's parents? I ship them. That seems like their marriage is really healthy.
Yeah.
And my parents got divorced, so it was a beautiful thing to watch. These just, you know, a classic mom and dad together, no frills. Loved it. How refreshing in our queer movie to have a straight relationship. I'm like, ooh, different. So they're my second runner-up ship.
Okay,
what are their names? Do we have
well,
names for
first,
them?
why don't I look them up and tell us if you have a ship name for Cameron and Ferris?
Pheromone. Does that make sense? Like Ferris
yes.
and Cameron?
Yes.
Pheromone?
Pheromone.
Pheromone.
Pheromone. But yeah,
no, it's pheromone.
Pheromone.
And then what are Ferris's parents' names?
Okay, their names are Tom and Katie.
Okay, so that's obviously Tatey vibes.
Tatey. Yeah, Tatey.
Tatey. Ship it. Pheromone and
love
Tatey.
it.
Maybe a double date. I don't know.
What about you, Lee?
I ship my triad. I ship my little polycule. So we got Sloane and Ferris and Cameron, which we could use to say
Conus.
Perfect.
I want it to be slammer something. Slammerous. That's
Oh, okay. Slammerous.
slammerous.
Oh, isn't that a Fergie song? Slammerous?
Slammerous.
L-A-M.
Yeah. Sounds right to me.
Yeah, that's how this sounds.
Yeah, that's how we learned how to spell the word slammerous.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course. You guys picked such good ships already. For me, it's going to be Jayne and, Charlie Sheen's character has no name. He's literally
really?
named like Boy. Because when I was watching it, I was watching it through Amazon Prime. And
So it gives you the little things
and
on
it,
this.
yeah, and it said like boy in police station.
Oh, nice. Nice.
But I'll say, let's just name boy in police station Charlie Sheen.
Okay.
And it's going to be Jarly.
Charlie.
Charlie.
Hot
Yeah.
stuff.
Jarly.
Starting a Tumblr for Jarly.
They had I feel like they had like a soul connection moment,
Mhm. When the therapy came into play.
Mm-hmm. That was like, no one had ever seen Jayne in that way.
I know.
She's, like,
Finally
really teeny.
witnessed in the police station. So it's like you had to go back to the capitalist structure in order to be fully witnessed. Maybe this is the first step to full freedom for Jayne.
But also by someone who is like against the capitalist structure, right?
Right, but they're under
By
it still.
Mm-hmm. Wow. What a wild ride.
Mhm.
I think the main takeaway, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Should have been gay.
Should have been gay.
Should have been gay.
All right, are we ready for our Q&A? We're going to ask you some multiple choice or yes or no questions. We put them on our Twitter for our listeners.
Amazing.
Here we go.
I'm here for it.
And gay.
All right, question number 1. Who's the gayest character? A, Ferris, B, Cameron, C, Sloane, or D, Jayne?
Jayne, because we don't know what she's up to for most of the movie. That's gay behavior. What are you hiding, honey?
Yeah. So true. Question 2. When is Ferris at his campiest? A, morning prep. B, playing daddy. C, at the restaurant. Or D, on the float.
Help, I'm still at the restaurant. The morning prep. I mean, my favorite move is when he covers your eyes, like the fourth wall covers the fourth wall's eyes, and then, cleans his nethers.
I also feel like there's something extremely campy about the twisted towel
The hair.
on the short hair.
I love it. I'm like,
I
this
love
is
it as well.
amazing. I love that little guy. Yeah.
I love how we did not talk about the playing daddy because it's like too much.
Oh, it's a disturbing scene for me.
Yeah.
I look forward to it and can't stand it every time I watch.
A kiss for daddy doesn't do it for you.
No, it scares me. Kiss for
Yeah.
daddy.
As it should.
All right.
And that's
right.
like actually a test to see if we're we have our heads on straight, and we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, question number 3. Have you ever stolen a reservation? A, yes, or B, no?
Here's what I will do. I had here's answer C. I had a reservation to this place that was like a dessert bar that was weirdly very popular. Like you literally just go and try these all different desserts. And it was a long wait.
What do you mean weirdly very popular? That sounds incredible.
It's just like sometimes I'm like, I want a random mango dessert on this random night. And then a bunch of other people have the same idea. And so I guess it's really just like my individuality complex taking a hit. But yeah, it's amazing. It's called, well, I'm not going to say it because I maybe want to
Don't tell
this again.
people. Keep it a secret.
So I went next door for dumplings while I waited. Turns out I missed my like grace period window. I go over. What I did is they like text you like your table's ready. So I just went into my messages and deleted the text and said like, hi, I came over. I never I never saw your text. I think you should still seat us. And they're like, we texted you at this time. And I was like, no, that's when you texted me like that I was on the waiting list, which was true. They tried to pull some shit on me. They were like, we texted you 40 minutes ago. And I was like, no, I was in here 40 minutes ago. Put your name on the list. The thing I'm lying about is never getting your text to come back. So yes, in a way, I stole someone's reservation because I committed text fraud. Sorry.
Which according to this movie just makes you gay. So I think it's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Gay culture.
Yeah. I do feel like there is, after watching this movie, there's a desire to like pull some pranks, you know?
Right? What should we
Sneak into
do?
some shit.
Yeah.
You know? The other day...
hit on some girls, suntanning in their backyard.
One of my favorite things to do every summer.
Yeah. Go catatonic, you know?
Whatever.
Just classic fun.
That's a winter activity for sure.
Yeah.
Question 4. An aspect of the movie we didn't really dive too deep into, but I'm just curious. Who gets the worst deal out of A, Rooney, or B, Jeannie?
Rooney gets the worst deal because Rooney should be a registered sex offender by the end of this movie.
So true.
Stop touching women. Stop touching butch women at the arcade. Stop sneaking into women's houses. And stop trying. Also, Rooney's going to jail. Like, abolish prisons, but send Rooney to jail for animal cruelty.
So true. So true.
He like feeds the dog flowers to make it go to sleep.
Yeah, like
something's not right.
Dog.
So he has the worst deal, but he deserves it.
Yeah.
But I do feel a little bad for him on the bus home. The school bus home.
A fair analysis.
Yeah.
All right, our final question. What would you do on a skip day? A, baseball game, B, museum, C, beach, or D, pride parade?
Pride parade. Duh.
Good choice. You would say
Pride parade, you have the freedom to walk your little toesies around and you can be yourself. Whereas at the museum, I'd have to act a little smarter than I was. At the beach, you get sand in your crack. I'm more of a lake and pool person. And the baseball game, like, I could do a few innings, but a summer day at the baseball game, like, I've been to Wrigleyville. I used to live near Wrigleyville. That's where the Cubs play. And it's where they are in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's a very straight neighborhood. And sometimes I do like to cosplay and, go to the straight bars and just like be a girly. But on my one day off, on my skip day, no, I'm going to the Pride Parade, honey. I'm at the parade.
Hot
Good
stuff.
Answer. Emma, thank you so much for joining us. This was so fun.
Thank you. I had the time of my life.
Let our listeners know where they can find you on all the socials, where they can find your stuff.
Amazing. So you can find me on Instagram at Emma Jayne Grams. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music under Emma Jayne. That's Jayne. Get it right. TikTok at Emma Jayne Sings. I think those are my main girls. Oh, on Twitter at Emma Jayne, all with a Y, of course, Jayne. And if you support queer youth this Pride Month and year round, go ahead and give the Future Perfect Project a follow. It's the nonprofit I work for, and we have free arts programming, workshops. We're making an album written entirely by queer youth and produced by queer producers.
I love it.
That will be out soon. So give us a follow at the Future Perfect Project or head to thefutureperfectproject.org because we're amazing and queer youth have an important message and we need to listen and amplify them. So if you have the means, donate so we can keep doing this work or share with someone who can donate.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yes, this was awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Oh, do you have any shows people can come see you at too?
I do have a show coming up this month. I'm going to be performing in Toronto at Lee's Palace on June 24th, Saturday, June 24th, opening for the lovely Era Zaberry. And it's her album release show. And I'm going to play some unreleased songs of mine because I'm cooking up an album. So I'm not playing out as much because I'm in recording and writing mode, but there'll be some fun performances for Brooklynites and New Yorkers soon.
Amazing.
Very soon.
So cool. Yeah, definitely everyone check it out. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Say Ferris.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 well, yeah.
We love hearing from you and building community, so we want to shout out some of our favorite things each episode. Today, I would like to shout out Genesis_Blair1 on Instagram, who posted on our Aquamarine Instagram reel saying, "No wonder I loved this movie as a kid and now I'm gay." So yes, if you watched Aquamarine as a kid, you're gay.
You're gay now. We don't make the rules.
That's it.
We also, listen, we can't stop shouting out CB, user Ninja Chris on Twitter, who keeps making our beautiful out of context spoilers for every episode. And so we just like to shout out the ones that just went up for the episodes that we did on Brave, as it should have been gay, and our Les Essentials on San Junipero. Because listen, I'm sorry, we're not going to stop shouting these out. They're our favorite fucking things.
They are so funny.
They crack us up. And you gave us the witch on top of the Klexicon background. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my god, if someone cosplays as the witch at Klexicon this year, I will die. Also, the San Junipero one was cracking me up, where it was like Lee's crying because she's pregnant and I'm crying just because I always cry.
It's also, you know what's even funnier about it to me, which I don't know if anyone knows, but I was pregnant in those photos, wasn't I?
Yes.
Yeah. Right? Because we took those, I think we took those... No. I had Eloise.
No, because Eloise was there. Yeah.
No, you know what I'm thinking? You know why I'm thinking of it? Because that was the trip where Kelsey was pregnant and we hadn't told anyone yet. Yes. That's why I'm thinking of it. Because I just remember we went to your house and your mom was talking about something and like Kelsey and I were side-eyeing each other the entire time. So I lied. I wasn't pregnant in those photos. I do have photos that we took on a trip together when I was pregnant, and that was the trip where I was like dying. Anyways, good times. So yes, I have emotions. They're just great. These are some of our favorite posts every week. So keep them coming.
Keep them coming, please. Even if they're late, like they make our week. So please send them. They're so funny.
And as always, we want to shout out our Lesbian Jesus patrons: Mark Foster,
Tanya Ferguson,
Alana Rosen,
Lizette Stye,
Adi Benitez,
Fiona W.,
and Sophia Phillips.
And our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen,
Leah Henley,
Andrea Doucette,
and Julia Gonzalez. Thank you all so much. We could not keep doing this podcast without your support and the support of all of our patrons.
Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Let's Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at letshangoutpod@gmail.com.
You can check out our website at letshangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use to listen to podcasts, make sure that you subscribe. That way you'll get new episodes as soon as they go up every week.
We're also posting video clips on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/letshangoutpod to catch them.
Let's Hang Out is an independently produced show. It's hosted by us. Our audio production is done by Ellie. Our production assistant is Krista Murison. And Twitter shenanigans and various other social media stuff is done by me.
If you want to support the podcast, you can rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you listen to your shows. It is the best way to let new people know about the show. It brings us up on those rankings and also lets them know, hey, I like this show. Maybe you will too.
If you want to support us financially, you can join our Patreon. You get access to ad-free episodes, access to our Discord chat, all sorts of fun stuff like our Les Essentials viewing parties and more. You can join at bit.ly/lespatreon.
If you want to get some Les Hangout merch, you can get that at bit.ly/lesshop. You do not need to get gay gear only during Pride Month. It's a great time to get it, but show your pride all year long with our Les Hangout merch.
Remember, we also have a queer production company where we are making queer podcast musicals with guaranteed happy endings that you can find everywhere at Dollar Bean Prod.
Or at our website, dollarbeanproductions.com.
You can check out all of the episodes of our first show, The Flame. They are up on any podcasting app.
And if you want to help support us in making more musicals, you can join our Patreon at bit.ly/dollarbeanpatreon. We do want to let you all know we are hard at working on our next musical, Journey to the Heart. It has been a long process, longer than The Flame, because when we did The Flame, I mean, I was literally on COVID unemployment when we did The Flame. Like I was not working. I could only work on The Flame. We all have so much going on, but we are still plugging away. One of our final sessions is the end of June for recording sessions. So we promise you we are working. It's been taking a while, but we're working on it. And it's going to be in your ears soon.
It's an intense show.
It's intense.
It's busy. But it's happening.
And it's going to be so worth it once we finally release it. So
That's
thank
gonna
you
be
for your
amazing.
patience with us. We have been working on it tirelessly for you.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LSH Foster.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ellie Bridget. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee. And
Let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.